guys, so I decided to come online and show you all how I made my own herbal infused shea butter at home. This is something that I have been wanting to do for a little while now. I suffer from dark spots all over my body, so I thought it would be nice to experiment, and I hope you guys enjoy. So as you may already know, you would need to have a double boiler system in order to make any type of butter at home. And what I did is I just used a glass bowl that we have and a small little pot that had about 2 cups of water in it. Of course, if you don't have a big bowl like this, I would just recommend using whatever glass bowl that you have at home, as well as using a pot to make sure that you use the double boiler system while you are creating your butter. So I have about a half a cup of unrefined cocoa butter that I'm putting in, as well as about 4 teaspoons of 100% cocoa butter, the yellow stick. I like using that as well. I've used that all my life, so I just wanted to incorporate it in this blend. And then I also have a half a cup of unrefined shea butter. This is all supplies that I bought at a local store near my home, but you can go on Amazon to find some of these things. I noticed that they do have 100% shea butter on Amazon as well, and this is just me trying to get as much of it out as I can. And then I also added in a few drops of jojoba oil mixed in with a couple drops of lavender and patchouli. Lavender is really good for calming and patchouli is really good for grounding, so I wanted to add that into this blend, and I'm shaking as much of it out as I can. And then for the herbs, I used a couple teaspoons of rose petals dried, as well as a couple teaspoons of calendula also dried. Rose is really good for your skin, and as well as calendula. Calendula is really wonderful when it comes to healing any kind of scars, reducing the appearance of dark spots, stretch marks, and also healing your skin from any type of incision, surgery. I wanted to make sure I blended those together. It only took a few minutes before the butter started to melt, and the temperature that I decided to use for creating this is medium low. I didn't want it to be too low or too high in case it burned anything. And I would say about 5 minutes in, it started to come to a complete boil. Of course, I wanted to make sure I got as much of the benefits out of the herbs, so I decided to stir it while it was boiling, just to make sure that the butter is absorbing as much of the essence of the herbs as it could. Once you've boiled the butter enough and you feel like you've gotten enough of the benefits out of the herbs, then you can go ahead and remove it off of the burner. I actually put it onto a cloth onto the counter, and I waited a few seconds, well, really a few minutes before I started doing this part, just to make sure that I didn't burn myself. But what I'm doing is I'm squeezing all of the oil out of the mesh cloth, and I really thought that the herbs looked really pretty while I was doing this. I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like. But of course, you can see there's a lot of oil that's coming out of it, so I made sure I took my time to get as much of it out as I possibly could. I feel doing this makes sure that you get as much value out of your batch as you possibly can. So at this point, I got as much of the oil out of the mesh cloth as I could, and I am now pouring it into a glass mason jar. I really thought that the color was really pretty when I was pouring it in, and I'm really happy that it came out to be exactly as much as we needed for this size mason jar, which I just got small mason jars from Harris Teeter, and it worked out perfect. I just wanted to show how simple this process was. For a while, I thought that I needed to have a bunch of tools to do it, but the only thing that I bought besides the cocoa butter and shea butter are the mason jars, and this is the finished product. So it's only been a few days since I've made this butter, but as you can see, I've been using a lot of it. I really love the way it smells. It actually smells like chocolate and roses. That's for the most part what it smells like. And I'm showing you the texture because after I completed the first steps and I made the butter, it needed to solidify. So what I did is I put it inside of a freezer and I let it freeze overnight. But the next day when I went to use it, it was really gritty. So what I found out online is that in order to fix that, you can remelt it and then freeze it again. And after I did that, it was less gritty and it went back to its natural state, which I really like. There are ways to make this more creamy, but I wanted to make this simple, being that it's my first time. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time. And if you enjoy content like this, please like and subscribe.